Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars and welcome to another PlayStation review. Today I'm taking a look at Undisputed on the PlayStation 5. Now Undisputed is of course the long-awaited console release of the game, the boxing game that's been in early access on PC for well over 12 months now. I've been really looking forward to this coming out on console. It's been far too long since we have had a credible boxing simulation on PlayStation, and many of the reviews and footage that you'll see of this game on YouTube will refer back to Fight Night Champion as like the last and potentially greatest boxing game of all time. So this has got a lot to live up to, because the Fight Night series from EA back in the day was a very good set of games really, and it was finished off with a brilliant one with Fight Night Champion, of course. So this has been, I was watching development games videos of this as it was kind of leading up to being released on PC and all this kind of stuff, and the way they announced the fighters that they'd signed and all this. It sounded very exciting because this game does have a lot of licensed fighters, and they've all, the majority of them, I would imagine, if not all of them, have kind of been body scanned to make them look as realistic as possible, and that's something that this game absolutely has going for it. It's very beautiful to look at. The fighters look fantastic for the most part, and many of the signature boxers, like the ones that you really will know and recognise, move and punch very similar to their real life counterparts, which is really cool. So this has been, if you like, one of my most anticipated game releases this year, and having now put into this a significant amount of time, I'm ready to give you my feedback on it. And I'll go through and let you know what you can expect when you first turn this game on in regards to modes. First of all, obviously you have got like an exhibition mode that you go into, quick matches. And you can go through all the different weight classes from heavyweight, down to featherweight, welterweight, middleweight, light heavyweight, cruiserweight, and there are many recognisable fighters in each of those categories that you will, especially if you follow boxing. So you've got your exhibition matches. So you could put Muhammad Ali against Tyson Fury if you want. You can put Ricky Hatton up against Canelo and all this kind of stuff. You could do those fantasy matches if you like. Now, there's obviously going to be more fighters released on this because there's an option on the game for like the PlayStation Store, and if you kind of pre-order this, you get all sorts of different fighters and different costumes for them to wear, fight gear and stuff. So there's obviously going to be more fighters on the way, and that is actually going to be very welcome, because while they do have a lot of very recognisable fighters here, and they have over 70 on the roster overall, that sounds really impressive, and it is. But there's a lot of fighters missing from here in regards to, there's no Tyson, there's no Lennox Lewis, there's no Holyfield, George Foreman, AJ, Chris Eubank. I mean, you could go on and on. Byron McGuigan. You could go on and on. There's a lot of fighters missing here to make this like really legendary in regards to the roster. So I do hope that we get quite a few more fighters in the coming months on DLC. I'd be very interested to see that. So yeah, that's your exhibition mode. Obviously, you've got an online mode. I'm not really a multiplayer type person, an online person, but I have been on tested it and it works absolutely fine. But generally speaking, most people are playing as Muhammad Ali, so you just kind of get fights against people kind of kicking your ass as Muhammad Ali, and that's what I've kind of noticed playing it online. But like I say, I just wanted to really test that it works, and it's fine. I've not had any issues with the online and the connectivity and stuff like that. Then obviously you have got a tutorial as well. Now when the game first turns on, it will take you through the tutorial, and it's very basic stuff, but it gets you used to how the fighters move and feel and all this kind of stuff. And then the real meat and two veg of this game is the career mode. Now, a good boxing game needs a good career mode, in my opinion. And while this, you could argue, lacks excitement in regards to the career mode, it is actually more of like a sim when it comes to going into the career mode. So you'll go into the career mode and you can be either, you can create your own fighter, or you can be one of the licensed fighters in the game going into career mode. So if you create your own fighter, there's an extensive create your fighter options in there. It's a pretty good creating fighter thing, creation suite. It's not amazing. I've seen a lot better, but it does a job. And then you'll kind of go into your career. You'll start off as an amateur, basically doing a little tournament, seeing how you're doing this little tournament, getting used to how the game feels and stuff. And you have to be prepared when you go into career mode, because everything you do is a lot slower, because you're obviously not statted up and what have you in regards to making yourself faster and stronger and all this kind of stuff. And then once you get through that, you've got to kind of hire your team. So you've got like a coach, a cut man, and a manager sort of thing. And then they've all got their own different roles within the camps. Obviously, the cut man will help you with your injuries and stuff. Your manager will set up your fights, and your coach will help you improve your stats quicker and that kind of stuff. So you'll go to the gym, you'll train. There are no training mini games or anything like that. It's all text based, as you can see on the screen. But what you've got to do in the career mode, you've got to balance like your fight sharpness with between that and your weight, and like your energy levels as well. So you've got to kind of time it right. You've got to kind of choose how many weeks you're going to. So you negotiate a fight. You choose how many weeks it is for the fight camp. I've found early on in the career mode anyway, 6 weeks to be the best. And you got to train, and then make sure that you're in the right weight bracket and the right sharpness bracket. And if you do it just right, you'll be at your peak physical fitness for the fight, which is obviously very, very good. You'll get rewards after the fight. You get fame, money, bonuses for your coaches, that kind of stuff, and you'll also get you'll level up your stats as well. So you'll slowly increase your strengths as you progress through the career mode. It's got all the top, like the WCB and all that kind of stuff. It's got all those in the game, and you will rank up on each of them until you get to the point where you can challenge for titles. It's pretty standard stuff. I'm not going to lie, I quite like the career mode. I think there are some out there that might find it a little bit dull, because, like I say, there's no training mini games, there's no excitement, and there's no story mode or anything like that, like you got in Fight Night Champion. It's just a bog standard, if you like, boxing career mode. But that's what I wanted. I wanted more of a simulation experience, and that's what you get really with this. Now, what you probably really want to know about here is the gameplay. What's it feel like as a boxing game? Well, overall, I'm really impressed. The footwork is much different from what you might be used to on boxing games. They really do move around the ring depending on who it is. If you're Muhammad Ali, you'll float around that ring. Deontay Wilder can move pretty good. Tyson's Fury. All the ones that generally have got amazing footwork have got amazing footwork in the game. And those of them that are just massive power punchers have got a real whack on them as well. So the punches feel amazing, generally speaking, and that's really, really impressed me. When you land like a power punch, it'll stun your opponent, and if you don't finish them, they'll come out of it. But there can also be like flash knockouts that happen in the game if you're... if they're covering up and then you just do a nice, swift, really powerful uppercut, it'll just send them flying, and I do like that. Now, the animations are a bit limited. Now, I don't mind the knockdowns overall, but it's pretty much the same couple of animations when it's like when you get up off the floor, and it gets a bit dull seeing it that all the time, the same couple of different animations. Now, to get up off the floor when it's you that gets knocked down, there's like a little bit of a mini game there where you've got to kind of press the right trigger and the left trigger to kind of balance it, so keeping it in the bar at the same time. It can be a little tricky depending on, how many times you've been knocked down. The first couple of times you can manage okay. After that, it gets quite difficult. But overall, I think the gameplay is tremendous. I think the punches feel really good. They feel quite impactful, especially with the PS5 controller. You feel them impact of the punches. It feels like, generally any mistakes that are made in the fight are usually down to you. You've got your swivel and pivots and all that kind of stuff, so you can dodge and weave and all that kind of stuff, and it all feels pretty smooth. Quite a lot of times on boxing games, you're trying to remember what the buttons are to do this, that, and the other, and it's pretty simple here. You've got your jab, which is a square, you've got your cross, which is a triangle, you've got your hooks, which is circle and X, and then you can modify them by clicking right one and they'll be more powerful. If you click left one with those punches, they'll go to the body. If you press triangle and circle together, you'll do one uppercut. If you click square and X together, you'll do another uppercut. And so it's pretty simple to kind of figure out the controls. It's not difficult to learn and pick up this game. So overall, while I do think there's a tinge of disappointment from me in regards to lack of variety in the game, you've really only got exhibition and career mode to speak of. I mean, there is like a prize fights section, which is like different fights put on there every day. It changes daily, and it's like a different fight, 3 different fights for you to take part in if you want to. But it's really, the real meat of this game is the exhibition mode and the career mode. I think exhibition mode needs like championships added to it, so you can do championship matches if you want, because that's not there, or well, I certainly can't find it anyway. Or maybe like create your own like pay-per-view, or a boxing card, like fantasy boxing card, and put championships up for grabs. That would be great. So I think if they continue to tweak this and continue to add content to this could turn into be quite a special boxing game. As it stands now, it is very, very good, very enjoyable if you're a fan of boxing games, but it isn't perfect, and I can't help feeling that there's a tinge of disappointment here. So ultimately my recommendation would be probably to wait for a sale. I'll give it a couple of months, see what kind of the content drops, and then see if it takes your interest. But I think if you can't wait and you want to pick it up now, I don't think you'll be desperately disappointed or anything. I just think it could do with a little bit more content adding to it, in my opinion. So thanks for joining me for this review, guys. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it useful. I will, of course, be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.